CPS comes to your door, slam the door in their face. Get them out of your life. I know of other people that have done it, they never bothered them anymore.
It's all with who has the most money. If they prey typically on poor people.
This all started when Alden had picked up a ladder and had lit some flammable clothes on fire, and then
He was playing with a lighter and caught his pajamas on fire, and evidently they were highly flammable. And Mom was in the bathtub, and he ran in there, and she pulled him into the bathtub with her to put the fire out. And she said that it didn't look that bad. It just looked red, you know.
Nancy had called the hospital, his mother, Alden's mother, and told him what had happened. Told the hospital.
Told the hospital.
They said to call the burn center, which she did, in Seattle, and they told her some information to do. She treated it that way.
about a week later, a sheriff came to the door, and after we had treated it and put Solvadine cream on it, and it really wasn't bothering him. It was in the healing stage and stuff, and being bandaged, it had a little bit of dirt where the bandages were, so it looked kind of crusty, but he didn't want us to scrub that glue off because it was a little tender around there, you know, where the bandage was, you know. About 11 o'clock one night, about 5 days after this happened, and after we treated it and Alden was fine, he was happy and there was no problem with it, it was well healing. The sheriff comes to the door.
She stuck her foot in the door, and they wanted Alden to be brought to the front door.
Makes us take him to the hospital about 11 o'clock at night, gets us up out of bed, and the sheriff shows up and makes me leave my son.
I was awakened at about 1 p.m. by a phone call from my brother stating that I needed to come to the hospital, that they were going to take Alden. So I put on the first thing I could grab and got to the hospital as quickly as I could. I was greeted by two sheriff deputies, and both of them refused to shake my hand. I knew he had a burn. Mom had told me, but I didn't realize that he had been taken to the hospital for that. I didn't know why he was in the hospital.
I see. We make an agreement, just take him back like everything was normal because we didn't do anything wrong. So we have him from that time on, and every time the CPS workers come, we go down here and meet down here with them and act like Cece had them to make them happy. So after all this is said and done, they kidnap him from school after we had him the whole time, and we haven't seen him since.
No supervised visitation?
Nothing. No communication with them whatsoever. And every time we call them, they just say we have no rights, and that's it.
Last time you saw Alden?
Was September 17th, 2005.
What are your thoughts on what CPS did?
They haven't sent us one thing that says anything about getting our child back since this happened. Not one communication has got anything to do with how to get your child back. Now, you would think that if they had any intent in giving them back, there'd be some communication with, here's what you have to do. And they just go with this plan they have, and once they have them in their possession, you know, it's like the clutches of death.
What do you do for a living, Tom?
Machinist.
How's this affected Bianca?
She just wants to know where her brother is. You know, she feels the same way we are. You know, it's a missing piece of your family.
What do you tell her?
I tell her that we're trying, you know, and she doesn't understand why we just don't have them, you know, and we should have them because we have every right to have them, you know. They're just stepping all over our constitutional rights, you know. Just because they don't like our cut a jib or whatever, they've done this to us, you know, and we haven't done nothing wrong. Because what right do they have to take your child and keep him in secret? We haven't been tried or convicted of any crime.
Were you ever given any reason to believe that this was going to have a happy outcome?
Never. Did they ever have any set guidelines for what that you would do to get your child back? Nothing was ever fixed. Like, you do this and everything's good.
Did they ever take your daughter?
No, they never took my daughter.
And how old was your daughter when your son was taken?
In 2003, you know, and she was 14.
Because she'd be able to be out of the system in no time. Therefore, it'd do them no good. They would make no money on her.
Same thing. We had a young gentleman named Alex Fellinger, which his mom had killed herself, and ever since she had killed herself, he lived at our house, and not once did any social worker or anybody come and talk about that child to us. We took care of him the whole time.
I was 15 when it happened.
He was 15 when it happened. So, there's something wrong with the system, Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to the American public about what a parent would need to be aware of so that this does not happen to them and that this stops?
Don't ever talk to those people, have nothing to do with them, shut the door in their face, send them packing. Don't give them let them in your house for 1 minute. Guard your child lively. Make sure you sign an agreement with the school where they won't give your child up to nobody but you. And so your child's protected, really, because when he was out of our care, that's when he got nabbed. They would never get that child from me personally.
The schools do a good job.
The schools don't do a good job because of
No,
some
they don't.
rule.
They're in cahoots.
Because of some rule what they have got with the state, they have to take a report and do exactly what they want, and that's not protecting your child from them.
Do you think it's safe to say that different school districts in different areas do better jobs and some do
They
worse?
are all
No,
bound by the state.
Yeah,
They
bound by all
jump
those-
through this hoops that the state says, or they don't get their funding. They don't have a court order, they don't have a leg to stand on. Make them show you the court order. They don't need a court order to pick them up from school.
No, they lied on that too.
They don't need a court order, they can just go pick them up at will.
Just pick up anybody then.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Just hold them to your heart and don't let them out of your sight.
To try to bring your loved one home.
They bankrupted me. Bankrupted me. I haven't purchased anything for myself. I'm so broke, Stephen, that I can't even go to Goodwill. Now that's broke.
This can happen to anybody. And
Anybody.
it can happen to anybody in any county in this country. More importantly, this was not something that had happened because of egregious wrongdoing over a long period of time. I finally wanted to ask one last question, and it's hard-hitting, and I apologize for it. But are you, in fact, mentally prepared, each one of you, for the fact that you may never see Alden again?
No.
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 I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Because I'm not going to let my child stay gone for 18 years. I'm going to keep working until I find a solution, regardless of what it is.
He'll be home.
You'll be home.
Yep, he'll be home.
Every day we wonder where he's at.
And we don't know how he's being taken care of. We don't know. I mean, if he's being made to sleep in a cage every night, we don't know.
We don't know if he's getting the morals and standards that we would have given him.
If you could see Alden right now, what would you tell him?
Sorry, son. We tried everything. Every day we worried
We
about
fought for you. We fought for you. We spent every dime we had for you. We went without for you, but that's what it's all about with kids.
Every day we wonder where he's at.